Hey, I got a question from someone the other day on my Instagram page about why you do wild water swimming or cold water swimming, and so I just wanted to share it with you. And also, I think I was talking with some of the ladies I do wild water swimming with this morning as we were all squealing with excitement because it's so fun. And so I thought that's what I'm going to talk about today. So, funnily enough, I had a swimming pool. When I lived in Canada, I had a swimming pool and I wouldn't go in it until it was like 20 degrees because I was just like, I really don't want to go in, it's freezing. And then, of course, I could really appreciate the swim and being out in nature and looking out over the garden and all the rest of it, and it was lovely. And then I moved back to England and I thought the one thing I really miss is the water. I really want to be, I really want to be in the water. So I went in the sea a couple of times, but then we found jellyfish. So that wasn't so fun when I went swimming in Norfolk. And anyway, then a friend that I'd met talked to me about, or she told me about this swimming group that was in a pond on a nature reserve. And I was like, oh, I've got to try it. So my daughter, I packed up my daughter with me and said, right, let's go and try it. Anyway, so we turned up looking like we were going to the beach and everybody else was there in their wetsuits, fully clothed, ready to go swimming. And we still showed up like we were going to the beach. I literally had my pink beach bag and all the rest of it. So we went swimming and I think it was May when I first went. So, it was fresh, but it wasn't cold. And then I thought I really enjoyed it. It was a really nice community. I have to say, lots of midlife women. A couple of midlife men come along too, but lots of midlife women. And it just felt absolutely glorious because it's in this nature reserve. Of course, anywhere outside in nature. It's, as you go around, first of all, you get obviously the feeling of the water, which is beautiful. But then as you go round, you hear the sounds of the birds in the trees. And depending on where you're swimming, just all the other sound just disappears away. And it's just the most amazing feeling. And if there's not too many people around, then you actually tune in to the sound of the water as you're swimming along. And it's so hypnotic, and literally it's like all of your worries, concerns, mind chatter, it just disappears away. And you become completely at one with nature. So it's like a meditation almost. And it's such an unbelievable feeling. Anyway, so as the year goes on, of course, you go with the temperature changes. So on a really hot day, you jump in and it's just gloriously refreshing and blissful. But then, especially as we're coming into this time of year, which at the moment is just middle of December now. And so when we swam this morning, it was 5 degrees. And is it cold getting in? Oh my God, it's so cold getting in. But as you get in, you're committed to the process. And I don't swim in a wetsuit, but I don't think it makes that much difference. And the fact is, when you know you're going, you're committed to the process. So it's basically like, right, my feet are in, my knees are in, my bum is in, and my belly button's in, but I've got to go. And you just go. I get in quicker now than I ever have done before, because you don't want to be hanging around any longer than you need to, and you know the benefits of being there. So once you get your shoulders under and you start swimming along, and when you first start, sometimes there's some bad language and there's a sort of and some big deep breaths, and then you just settle into it, and the feeling it's kind of prickly on your skin, and it's euphoric. And it's funny because we swim quite small laps, and as you go in one direction, you're kind of just dealing with it, and then as you come back, you can see, or you can see the people coming back rather, and they just look lit up. Their whole face is lit up. All the stress is gone. You've let go of the week. It's just this most amazing, beautiful, euphoric feeling. And then when you come out of the water, of course, you're tempted to stay in for quite long, but obviously the colder it gets, the less you're advised to do it. So, there's all sorts of health benefits, which I can totally understand in theory, but then it's a question of actually when you do it, it's just, I stall every week going, am I going to do it this week? Am I going to do it this week? When I book, because I have to book a spot. because where we go is lifeguarded, and and it's beautiful, and I appreciate it. So thank you, Jodie, if you ever see this video, for lifeguarding, and Kylie, sorry, Kaylee, and Rob. Thank you all for lifeguarding it. But anyway, so the health benefits, because looking up obviously some facts, it increases your metabolism, and it's really good for mental health. And I can understand why. For me, when I started doing it, it wasn't so much about the physical health as the mental health. And it was my chance, especially because I spend a lot of time on social media, it was my chance to completely unplug. And it was just, I come back and I'm hyper. So anyway, so as I say, when you come out, it's interesting because you've got to kind of get a routine so that you warm up quickly enough. Because we don't have the benefit of the whole Swedish sauna thing, which is funny because what, I was thinking about it driving home today. When I was in Sweden, the whole stuga, as they call it, so you're going from the sauna to the iced water, to the lake or whatever, it seemed like a really male kind of zone, and I was always a bit intimidated to it because I didn't really want to be surrounded by sort of fat old naked men. I had no interest in really being there. So anyway, so it never really appealed to me, when of course when I was probably in the perfect environment for it. But anyway, so now in England, when I get the blue heron flying past, and oh God, it's just amazing. Anyway, so when you get out of the lake and out of the water, you've got to warm up. So you can do, so I did an ice bath course, and so you've got the Wim Hof breathing, and the Wim Hof breathing is all about warming up your core, so you're warming up from the inside out. And I'm no expert about this, so if you want to really look into how you do it properly, look up Wim Hof, look up ice bathing, all the rest of it. But what I can tell you is, if you've never experienced it, but people are doing it, and there is somewhere to go, and you've got the slightest inkling of interest or an idea, just go and have a go. Because it's just such an incredible, euphoric, healthful, wholesome feeling. Anyway, so as I say, when you come out, you'll get a routine together of how you warm up and how you get more comfortable more quickly. Because when you come out, it's really tempting to just sit around, well, not even sit around, you're hyper when you come out. So you just want to, chat and talk, and it's all, lovely. But you actually have to get dry and dressed and warm up fast. And especially when you're like 5 degrees. So I had to change my routine about, because the other week I was walking back to the cars in bare feet, and I was colder than I thought I was. And as I was walking back to the car, I actually felt a bit drunk. So I was like, I think I've got to change that routine. That wasn't very sensible. So there is something also about doing it because you're challenging yourself. You're really challenging yourself. And yet the payoff, it happens every single time. But I can totally understand why it's taken off so much here. Because I remember a friend when I was in Canada, and she said, so you don't swim in the lakes in England? I was like, well, no, you don't actually. She says, why don't people swim in the lakes in England? And I went, I really don't know. Anyway, I think it was since COVID, it all kicked off, and now everybody swims in lakes in England. And it's just, if you've got any slight inkling of trying it, then find somewhere to do it. And even if you don't go with anybody else, because all your friends might think you're a complete lunatic, if you don't go with anybody else, you'll be welcomed into the community, because it's like a sisterhood. It's just absolutely like, it's like a sisterhood, actually. That's kind of the best way I can describe it. Anyway, so if you've got any questions about it, or getting started, or I don't use a swimsuit. Yes, I do use a swimsuit. I don't use a wetsuit. I just swim, and the colder it gets, then I wear some gloves, and I wear a thermal t-shirt on the top, and that's it. So I'm not great to ask about equipment and stuff like that. But if you've got any questions about it, just put them in the comments below. And if not, share your experiences. And especially if you want people to come and join you where you are, share your experiences, because it has been an absolute game changer for me through midlife, and especially when I was really suffering, like through the early menopause stuff. It was just, I would do anything to be plunged into cold water because I was just always boiling hot. Anyway, thankfully all of that's been sorted out, but still the mental benefit is just more than you could ever even imagine. Anyway, so hope that's helpful. It's not like I'm selling anything, I'm not advertising anything, but I just really, really strongly encourage, if you're even contemplating it, just give it a go. Okay, see you soon, bye.